Moderately. Since I'm a vegetarian in a town with few options, it's critical for me to cook for myself. I wouldn't say that I love it, but it is growing on me. I feel accomplished when my own concoctions turn out well. Pretty much every day. Since I'm a busy bee, I usually prepare meals for the week on Sunday afternoons. For example, I prep some tofu, beans, and rice, then just heat them up with some stir-fried vegetables throughout the week. I would consider myself to be average. I've mastered some dishes, but could still use some work on others. For example, I'm quite good at preparing vegetable curry and falafel. That's what I usually prepare when I have guests. Not too much, actually. It's been self-created. My family had a housekeeper when I was a child, so I never learned from her or my parents. As I got older, I started to look up more recipes online from sites like Tasty, then tried them out on my own. It's been a trial and error. Not really. I can remember that my grandmother enjoyed entertaining and preparing food for family and friends. I distinctly remember her corned beef and cabbage. However, she died when I was quite young, along with that tradition. No one really, considering my family members do not cook, and I didn't have a close relationship with the housekeeper. So I taught myself thanks to Facebook and online pages with video tutorials like Tasty. Very rarely. There were a few incidences in which our housekeeper couldn't make it, so then my parents would cook for us. I can only recall one time that I helped them stuff dumplings before boiling them. Yes, I do. I want to keep improving my skills I have. Moreover, I want to learn how to prepare Chinese-style dumplings and Polish pierogies, which are among my favorite foods. As I live alone, now just me, I eat at home nearly every day and often invite my friends over for meals on weekends. My ex-boyfriend, he had magic hands. Everything he cooked was packed full of flavor and he never missed anything. I was lucky to have been with him for 4 years.
Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I will say I do like the concoctions. If you cook something and you don't do it very professionally and you refer to that as a concoction, yeah, that's a good word to use. And look how she uses the negative with the modal. I wouldn't say that I love it. That's good. But it's growing on me. So if you start to like something more and more, why not use that phrase? Something is growing on you. All right, let's go on to the second question. All right, so pretty much every day, instead of just saying every day, by adding the phrase pretty much, you make it sound much more conversational. And then she's got this idiom, busy bee, which is nice, I guess. And then just another thing here, prep. Instead of saying prepare, she says prep. So you can use this not when just talking about cooking. You can prep for anything. I mean, if you have a test or something, instead of saying I prepared for my test, you could say I prepped for it. And then here's something I don't hear very often, heating something up. So if you put something in the fridge and you don't need to cook it again, you just heat it up. Yes, there's some useful vocabulary related to cooking here. Let's go on. Kind of short. Maybe here. I think maybe the most useful thing is here. But I could still use some work on others. If you could still use some work on something, it means there's still room for you to improve. So you haven't perfected it yet. So you can use this, use some work on, and then any other noun that you want to use there. I could still use some work on my, I don't know, Chinese language speaking skills. Or whatever you feel you want to improve, you can use this phrase with. Cooking experience. Maybe this last phrase, trial and error, that's pretty good. Sometimes you try things, they don't work. Sometimes you try things, they work. So that process of trying and seeing what works and what doesn't work, that's called trial and error. So if you're going to use this phrase, trial and error, use it as it is here. Don't try to add anything towards the end. Maybe you could say it's been a process of trial and error, but it's like a semi-fixed phrase. So either say it's been, actually now that I think about it, this isn't the right phrase. I never noticed that until now. It's not it's just it's been trial and error. I was just saying, oh, this is a good phrase. Actually, no, it's not. So it's been trial and error. I'll take everything back I just said. Okay, so there are two ways that you can use this phrase. Either you can say it's been trial and error, and then there's no article, there's no or you could say it's been a process of trial and error. And then you do use the article because now you have the noun process. Okay, but don't say it's been a trial and it's been a process of trial and error learning how to cook. I mean, that is right, but there's more of a chance that you're going to get it wrong. So just stick to this simple sentence. It's been trial and error, or a process of trial and error. All right, onward. Let's see. Family cooking. I don't really have much to say about that, except maybe that recently I've heard so many people use the term families that it's nice to hear somebody just say family. Remember, you just have one family. You might have many family members, but only one family. Talks a lot about tasty. I wish I knew what that was. Okay, so this phrase here, considering, or this word here, considering. So she starts her answer by saying, well, basically no, and then she gives the reason why, and she uses the word considering. So after considering, we're going to use a noun phrase, and here the noun phrase is family members. I mean, you can use it with other noun phrases, like, for example, considering the weather, or considering the fact that I don't know how to cook, or whatever noun phrase you want to use. Considering is a good phrase to use after you give that initial answer. Yes, no, maybe. Like, I'm not sure, considering the fact that I've never tried, or something similar. And what else was there? Oh, there's thanks to. So instead of saying due to, I hear a lot of people use the word due to, and they use it incorrectly. Yeah, thanks to is a very good word to use, especially in part 1 of the speaking test. Nothing special here. Except perhaps that she consistently uses the past tense correctly. That's something you don't see very often. So pretty much no grammar mistakes. Everything is in the past tense as it should be. Okay, let's move on. Do you want to learn how to cook? I don't have much to say about that. Short and sweet. All right. Whoa, no, not that. Let's go back to this last one here. Let's see here. He had magic hands. All right. Well, if you say someone has magic hands, that can mean a variety of things. Maybe say he had magic hands in the kitchen, so we know that you're talking about cooking, and that's something else. Everything he cooked was packed full of flavor. That's pretty good, using the word packed. Maybe you don't think that when we talk about food, we would use the word pack, because you can't literally pack anything inside food. But yeah, this is a good way of expressing this. Instead of just saying everything he cooked was very flavorful, I think most candidates might go for flavorful. So if you say packed full of flavor, well, you're going to stand out from the crowd. And that's about it. So here are some ideas for you on cooking. I mean, it's not a very complicated topic, and maybe you have better ideas than the ones presented here, but they are ideas, and I hope you find them useful.